we're live. And we're live. I got to remember to look at this camera. Because I have a tendency to look down at the screen. I need to look here at you beautiful people. What's up, guys? Mike the Cop here. And welcome to the stream. 76 of you lovely people. Let's share it up, guys. Let's get some people in the room. We've had some good streams this week. Plus 500 steady viewers, etc., etc., etc. And, yeah. I've been enjoying it. I hope you guys have been enjoying the live streams this week. I have gone live on YouTube every day, didn't we, underpaid producer?
I don't know. Wait, what?
Every day, Brent. You can't be seen.
Why isn't my mic on?
I hear you.
Oh, is it just my... Oh, it's my headphones.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. That scared me.
No mic on the underpaid producer. His beauty is kind of like... He's like the Medusa. If you look at him, you turn to stone.
You mean camera, not mic?
Whatever. I say what I want.
Wow.
I say what I want and mean whatever I say.
And I'm over here monitoring all of your comments.
Yeah. The underpaid producer is on the clock, getting underpaid to monitor the chat. As always, guys, this will be an interesting one. First of all, you may have noticed that I have been going live every day this week. I went live sort of like on a whim on Monday, and it went so well. I was like, maybe everybody that is on my channel really likes that. I don't know, because I'm not you. I'm just me. I enjoy going live. I find it's a great way to share content. It's fun for me to be live. I feel like it's the most natural way for me to produce the content versus canning it and editing it. But hey, that's up to you guys. Obviously, if I don't have the viewers and if I don't have the engagement, well, then you know the people vote with their feet, right?
James did a $2 super chat. I'm back. Live streams have been awesome this week. Kelby with a $5 super chat. How's the afternoon going, Mike?
What's up, guys? Austin, yeah, thank you for the super chat. Tim with the Maricopa PD. Hope you're doing well. Hope you see this.
Shout out to Austin.
And stay safe out there. Appreciate you. So one of the reasons that I started going live was because people who appreciate the content that I'm doing can actually support me more directly that way. I counted yesterday, I have 2 pages and growing of demonetized YouTube videos. So far this week, every single video I have put up has been demonetized from the very beginning. It's been on my end. It shows as not monetized, and so thanks, YouTube. Shout out to you, YouTube, if you're watching. Really appreciate the fact that I've put a lot of effort onto this platform for you, and you just decide arbitrarily, without any communication with your creators, to cut them off. And so, yeah, kudos to you. Real good. Good job. Way to run a business. So the platform is great. I mean, the actual product that YouTube has is great. It's just run by idiots, unfortunately. So it is what it is. So again, if you're watching, thanks for creating an awesome looking platform, awesome functioning platform, but no thanks for making it very, very difficult for creators to actually do something that keeps people on your platform. Maybe you'll learn that one day. I don't know. I hope so. I understand that it's your ballpark and I'm playing by your rules, so it is what it is. So I appreciate all the support. But the reason I'm going live more often is because I feel like it allows me to connect with you guys a little bit better. This is the reason I'm on Twitch now, not only to stream games that are, that's fun, but to also deliver more content there, because Amazon gets it. Actually, Amazon gets that if they treat their creators well, they'll put out good content, and that's why I've been exploring the Twitch angle too. So YouTube and Twitch, just be aware of what the creators are thinking. I'm one of them. Today's content, guys, I'm going to talk about the Alton Sterling shooting. This happened back in July of 2016, and so normally I'm a little bit snarky, sarcastic, and all that stuff. When I get to breaking down shootings, a lot of times it's going to end up being a little bit more serious. So I want this to be sort of like an educational point for you. I appreciate that super chat, whoever just sent that. Thank you.
James, $5 super
now,
chat.
just so that you guys know, when I get into the content, I'll pause for every once in a while.
And I'll keep track of the super chats.
And the underpaid producer will keep track of those super chats. But because, oh, hey, look, it's working.
What's working?
the event thing.
Yeah.
Oh, guys. So I won't be able to verbally acknowledge everybody all the time because it'll break my flow of communicating actually without
It won't
being
give a
annoying.
message, though, with what happens.
It doesn't give a message, but if you look on the screen,
It says who.
you guys
yeah.
should be seeing the donators.
But James
super
donated
chatters.
$5 super
Yeah.
chat. He said live is way better because we can actually ask questions we have and have them answered quicker, which is very true.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's another thing. We're trying to grow the Twitch thing, so that's a much better platform for creators. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that support. Now,
Yeah, he said shame on you.
so let me give you the lay of the land like I've been doing on my streams. I just kind of want to give you a big overview of what we're going to do today. Alton Sterling, the shooting happened in July of 2016. Almost instantly, literally almost instantly, cell phone footage of the incident was captured and then started posting on the internet. Of course, as you know, cell phone footage only tells one part of the story, and of course, everybody makes up their mind because, after all, if you're on Facebook, you understand the law and you understand how law enforcement works and you understand everything about the world because, after all, you have a Facebook account, right? So you're older than 13 if you didn't lie, and now you understand everything in the world and how it works because you're on social media. We all know how that works. You know, Facebook attorneys, Facebook experts in all things social. Now, the two officers Lake and Salamone, if I'm saying those right, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but these officers have been on paid leave since that incident. So, man, a long time, year and a half plus. And they were just recently, when all of the video came out, the Department of Justice, the Louisiana Department of Justice in coordination with the U.S. Department of Justice has an investigation we're going to go through, and all of the video was released. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through a BadgeCams video. BadgeCams is a great Facebook page, website that handles real police events and comments on them, and they put together amazing videos. And so we're going to walk through one of those. I have BadgeCams permission to show it on my stream and walk you through it. So we're going to look at that, and then we're going to look at the Department of Justice report. We're going to just point out some facts. And this is the thing, guys. It's very, very difficult to trust the media. Very difficult. The reason is because there's all these slants and angles. And when I was really upset with the Baton Rouge Police Department. They have made accessing these videos, the full closed-circuit TV from the convenience store that Alton Sterling was in front of, conducting illegal activity, the body cams, everything is super difficult to find. I mean, it's downright impossible. They say they released it publicly, but you know what happened is CNN gets a hold of it, Fox News gets a hold of it, and everybody puts their slant on it, none of which come from law enforcement. And so you'll get videos that start at one point, not at the beginning. They pick a point to start at, and it doesn't tell the whole story. They want to give it the angle that they want to give it. So you read some things, and they point out certain aspects of the video to almost incriminate the officers, despite the fact that they have been found not guilty at all of anything unjustified, even by those that had an axe to grind with law enforcement at the highest levels of government. So we're going to go through that. So I'm going to go through the BadgeCams video. We'll address that and answer some questions. Then we're going to look at the Department of Justice report, and there's some interesting facts that came out in that I'm going to point out. We can discuss it, round out the discussion, and that'll be the show for the day. So guys that are watching, again, we're going to cover the Alton Sterling shooting in light of the new body cam footage that has come out, and we're going to tackle that through a BadgeCams video. We're going to look at the Department of Justice report, and then we'll have a wrap-up discussion. So what do we got? Any updates here, underpaid producer? Anything that we need to acknowledge before we dive into this?
Well, you didn't acknowledge what I said earlier, but Dave just did a $5 super chat a while ago that you mentioned, but he said, here's to Mike, shame on YouTube for censorship. That's what he said.
Yeah, YouTube claims to purport to believe in free speech, except if your free speech disagrees with somebody at YouTube, then they don't like your free speech. So it's an interesting thing. I get that YouTube's got to pay the bills, man. So maybe I'm not suitable for advertisers, even though the NRA is an advertiser on YouTube and they could play those ads for me. So, whatever. YouTube is their own boss. I'm not their boss. I'm playing by their rules. And if their rules allow me to get super chats, then so be it. That's what I'll do. I'll work around them. That's the way it'll go. All right, let's dive into this BadgeCams video, and hopefully Hopefully audio will work okay. So again, before we get started in this, again, the warning is this video contains scenes of graphic violence, which may be unsuitable for some viewers. Your discretion is advised. I also marked this video as the education category. I am not showing this for the purpose of enjoying violence or promoting gratuitous violence. This is for educational purposes. So all of those people that are sitting there at YouTube watching me, that's what it's for. And I marked it as such. All right, so here we go.
Copy suspicious code 2 at 2100 North Foster across a Fairfield. 7 cities on the corner. Gun in his pocket. He pulled a gun on the complainant and told him he couldn't be around there. You know, he shot fire. This copy shots fired North Foster. 2100 North Foster.
Can we turn up the volume on that? All right, guys, I'm going to make sure the volume's going to come up on that a little bit. July 5th, 2016, 2 officers from the Baton Rouge Police Department respond to a complaint about a man brandishing a weapon and committing an assault with a firearm outside of a Triple S Food Mart. The suspect, Alton Sterling, is described by dispatch as a 250-pound black man wearing a red shirt, selling CDs at the store's front. Officers Howard Lake and Blaine Salamone are called to the scene by department's dispatch. When the officers arrive, they confront Sterling, who immediately is apprehensive and uncooperative with the officers. The situation will ultimately turn fatal and become the center of controversy in the U.S. Let me go back to that so that I don't want you guys to miss it. After several cell phone recorded videos are released on the internet and taken out of context. Very important.
You need to click on your YouTube tab. That way you're... Oh, you did. Okay, you're good.
I got it. Real quick about the out of context things. This is to be noted about. Hey, thanks, Gigabyte. It's very, very important for you to understand. I've addressed this in past videos. Body cams, dash cams, cell phone video give a very two-dimensional, limited context understanding of a situation. So many people forget that. So many people watch a video and think, oh, I've got it all figured out. I have just as much information and just as much a sense of what was going on there as the officers or people there. That is not true. It is even difficult when you're there in person to all have the same perspective, if not impossible. It just really depends. There's so many factors and dynamic situations like that. Please do not fall for the idea that as long as you've seen a video on the internet, you understood what happened. That's why I'm here to explain what's going on. Okay. Following footage was recorded on the CCTV camera outside of the Food Mart, body-worn camera systems of officers Howard Lake and Blaine Salamone. Also, I will point out real quick, the CCTV does show, the DOJ report will show that the CCTV footage reviewed does show Alton Sterling committing the assault. However, good luck finding it. Good luck finding it, because there's a lot of people out there that just, even the Baton Rouge Police Department, in light of firing an officer and suspending another involved in this, they even make it difficult to get. So they want to be transparent, but yet they make it impossible to get this stuff. But anyway, here we go. I'll try to not comment too much more.
Excuse me, ma'am. Do me a favor, put your hands on that car right quick. What? Stop. Stop. What you talking about? Put your hands on the car right quick, bro.
Can you bring that up a little bit?
I'm saying what I did. Don't fucking move. I ain't your fucking ass. Hey, bro, put your fucking hands on the car. Put your fucking hands on the car. Put your hands on the car.
All right, there's the first point of a problem, and this is actually what leads to Officer Salamone's dismissal from the department, is he says to him, put your hands on the car or you're going to get shot in the effing head. This is the point of contention and why ultimately the department says they let him go, because it violates their use of force policy. And we'll talk about that, but keep in mind what they're responding to. Keep in mind, this guy has already assaulted someone with a firearm. He matches the description identically, and they're responding to a violent person with a handgun having been observed by a caller to 911. So just try to put yourself, if you can, in the frame of mind of the officers who are responding to an armed subject. Okay? Taser doesn't work. Only partial effectiveness. Officer Lake arrives in the scene. He spots Sterling make a transaction with two women. He immediately moves toward them and interrupts the transaction by contacting Sterling. Lake requests Sterling place his hands on a vehicle that is parked near him, and Sterling is noticeably apprehensive. Officer Lake tells Sterling to stop twice before attempting to physically restrain him. Shortly after seeing Sterling begins to resist arrest, Officer Salamone arrives and begins to assist Lake with controlling Sterling. In the struggle, Sterling momentarily breaks free of the officers. Salamone draws a service pistol, gives him a stern warning we talked about as he's about to be shot. Both officers under the impression that Sterling is armed and dangerous. The officers continue to struggle with Sterling and eventually back him away from him to employ their taser system. It connects but fails to work as the second time the struggle pulls one of the taser prongs loose and defeats the connection. In the next few moments, Officer Salamone will tackle Sterling, bring him to the ground where they can control him. You can see the tackle happening in the... Oh, you know what? They can't see the tackle because I'm in the way. Anything?
You can't do that.
Okay.
I already have the...
All right, we got this set up, guys. So,
If I was on there, I could do it. But
yeah, my screen is blocking the tackle, but that body cam footage is on the bottom. Okay, so he just saw a gun. The one guy says he's got a gun. He's got a gun. And it's not like they just decided right then to shoot him. They already believe him to be armed. Now they've confirmed by their eyes or feeling there's a gun here. If you move, I swear to God. So they're again giving him warnings through this process. If you move, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. So now everybody knows we believe there's a gun in play. If you move, I swear to God, they're telling him that you're going to get shot. What does he do? He continues to struggle, continues to reach for the gun. He's effing going for the gun. He's going for the gun. That's when shots are fired. Now, some people may wonder why Officer Lake didn't fire any shots.
Shots fired.
Some people may wonder why didn't Officer Lake fire any shots. Well, you can see the first part. You have to have you have to be aware of your target, and you got to be careful of your partner as well. You don't want any kind of friendly fire. So I can't put myself in his frame of mind of why he didn't fire, but I could see myself in that situation, definitely not wanting to harm my partner. You can see the body camera sort of fell upside down. It's not attached exactly correctly at this point.
Both officers okay. Suspect down. I need EMS code 3. Hey! Hold on, y'all stop! Everybody stop!
You can hear the accelerated breathing, the signs of stress, and realizing the gravity of what just happened.
Hey, you can't leave with it anyway, so you might as well. Y'all just hang tight, okay? Where's the gun, Howie? It's in my car. I got it.
Okay, where's the gun? Wait, so you have the officer searching for the gun. Where's the gun? This implies both officers have acknowledged having known of the weapon. Where's the gun? I have it. It's in my car. So the one officer secured it. That is proper procedure. There's people outside. You don't just leave a handgun laying there. You have to secure that weapon. That's how that works. So the independent statements of both of these officers under stress, and we'll look at the report, indicates that both of them observed this pistol. Just because you can't see it from this body cam angle doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Body cams were new to the department then. They're not exactly perfectly secured. You're not going to see everything on a body cam, guys. It's not real life. It's not going to work. So that's what's going on. It's very important to notice that. So he calls for EMS. Whoa, that got loud.
Yeah.
Dang, let me turn that down. Okay. This recaps it. As Sterling reaches into his right pocket with the officers on top of him, Officer Salamone warns Officer Lake he's reaching for his gun, fires 3 shots into Sterling's chest and rolls off of him, then rolls onto his side. Sterling does and appears to continue reaching for his pistol. Salamone fires again and completely disables Sterling. Before an investigation can even begin, cell phone footage of this incident is leaked to the internet. Many popular anti-police groups flock to the out-of-context footage and label it as an execution. Mainstream media also picks up the story with the same label before investigations can conclude anything. Context is left to the side, the true casualty of the story. Had Sterling survived this incident, he would have been charged with a mandatory 10-year prison sentence for being a felon in possession of a firearm and for violating his felony probation.
What happened to the 2 officers recently?
Okay, so recently, let me bring back my screen here.
Because somebody asked, or somebody said, this video is old. Is there someone seriously arguing that this wasn't a good shoot? Because
the
officers were...
Okay, not all of that video. That video was just released last week. A lot of that I just showed you.
Yeah.
So the only video that had been released before was a lot of cell phone footage. This was the full CCTV stuff that was released, and we only found it in pieces. Even though Baton Rouge says they released it publicly and says it's on their website, good luck finding it. Absolutely good luck. We scoured the internet trying to find full unedited video of this. And CNN had video, and they just cut it. They spliced it. Fox News had video. They spliced it down. I have not been able to find the full unedited video. This is the best that we could come up with. I've been talking to BadgeCams all week and try to put together the best possible video that recapped the incident in the most objective way possible with factual information. Okay, so it was Baton Rouge Police Department. So that is the video overview, an initial take on this. Let's head to the comments and field a few questions here. I see some people talking about, Josh, let's not overgeneralize. Life isn't that simple. Can we find Josh's comment, or can somebody explain to me?
Don't break the law. Don't fight with cops, and you won't get shot.
Well, that's true advice. Like, the odds of you being shot by the police if you're not breaking the law and not resisting, it's close to 0.
It is
statistically
0.
It would be 0. I mean, there have been like cops break into the wrong house or not break in. They raid the wrong house.
Yeah.
Cops have made mistake, or innocent people have been caught in crossfire. There's things where you could get shot, but statistically, historically, it's almost nothing. Okay. 3 strikes law. I mean, I think that we should just be harder on crime. I don't know about the 3 strikes thing. What we should do is stop prosecuting people for misdemeanors that don't harm other people, and for jail time, and be extremely hard. Sentencing guidelines are a joke in a lot of counties. In Wayne County and Michigan, where Detroit is at, it's a joke. It's a joke. I know officers that were shot at, and people got probation. Literally tried to kill a police officer, ditch the gun and run, and they get probation. So when you're dealing with that, but then somebody gets jail time for a driving on a suspended license, guys, that world is just upside down. There's not a lot of sense. And a lot of people blame that on the cops, but the system itself, in terms of the criminal justice system, is what is in need of some serious looking at how sentencing is done and what crimes get what punishments. So, it's unfortunate somebody that's a domestic abuser can even end up in a situation where there is no jail time. And they can do it multiple times because of plea deals or because you plead it down to something else. You have a drunk driver that's committed a felony for 7 times, but it got pled down to impaired driving the first 4, so they don't get as harsh of a penalty. It's a joke. So we have to fix that. But anyway, I want to focus on this case, obviously.
Serious Fun said, why did the cops shoot in the chest? They could have shot him in the arm. He was where he was reaching with and disabled him that way, right?
A couple things about shootings. One is that bullets don't work like the movies. It doesn't work that way at all. And actually, we're going to get to why he was able to keep resisting as hard as he did with 2 cops on him. The toxicology report shows cocaine and methamphetamine in his system. So if you've ever fought somebody on meth, it's a different ballgame. And if you haven't, then you're going to have to sit down at the kiddie table if you think that you've got it figured out. How
Well, I mean, it was
how
nice.
easy.
No,
I'm saying no.
politely.
I'm not talking about the commenter directly. I'm talking about the concept of people who would say, "Why can't you just shoot him in the arm?" Because use of force doesn't work that way. It's impractical. You can't, especially under stress, when you're in a life or death situation. The way that your body works simply doesn't just target body parts for shooting. It won't work that way. Also, bullets have to go to center mass because that's where you have the most opportunity to actually stop the threat. Shooting someone in the arm doesn't guarantee that their arm is going to be disabled. Okay, you have to go for center mass. It's not the chest that they're shooting for, it's center mass. That's where you're going to be able to have the highest proclivity to stop the threat if it's a deadly force situation. Obviously, if someone's just being verbally uncooperative, you don't shoot them, right? But this is a whole different ballgame in this shooting. So there's that. So shooting in the chest doesn't work because sometimes people can run through bullets. I'm telling you, bullets do weird things. You can shoot somebody. You see it in a hospital. You go. I have sat in a shooting. Last year, I went on the scene of a shooting where a guy was shot, I think, like 4 times, sitting there talking to me just like I'm talking to you. And then I've seen other situations where one small caliber bullet goes in somebody, whizzes around inside of him, dead. DED, right there. And so bullets don't do what they do in the movies. Like, you don't just get drop shots. You don't just shoot the leg. You don't knock the gun out of somebody's hand. That's not a thing, okay? So just keep that in mind. Yeah, and deadly force legally is deadly force. Somebody just brought up a great point. Jesus Knight 72, you do know you can die from a gunshot wound to the arm or leg, right? Yes, exactly. If you're firing your gun, it's deadly force. So it is what it is. If you're firing your gun, you're firing with a force that can be deadly. So that's it. Andrew Cool, view the deleted message. Should I view it?
Okay, I can read what he said. He said, I got to go up a little bit. He said, cops today align themselves with the neo-Nazi party, a.k.a. the GOP.
Oh, my goodness.
Sad.
Yeah.
Mini fascist group. So I just removed him.
Nice. All right. So let's take a look now at this Department of Justice report. This is the Louisiana Department of Justice. Now, what happened was this shooting came at a time when, during the Obama administration, from Ferguson on, there was undeniably an axe to grind against police officers who happened to be white who shot suspects who happened to be black. There is no evidence in this case at all that either of these officers had any racist proclivities, any history of racism, or shot this guy because they were white and he was black. That is asinine. These two officers, can you stop shaking your leg? Well, I hate to ask you on air, but it's shaking my mic everywhere. These two officers didn't make Alton Sterling be on probation and then violate that with a firearm. They didn't make Alton Sterling assault a guy. They didn't make Alton Sterling sell illegal items in an illegal fashion. They didn't make him do any of that stuff. These officers didn't pay someone to call 911 so they could show up and shoot a black guy. So drop the racism out of this. It's pointless. However, the federal government and the government of Louisiana tries to look good. Almost immediately, this investigation is turned over to the federal government. Okay? In May of 2017, the United States Department of Justice concluded a 10-month comprehensive independent investigation of the events surrounding the Alton Sterling death. That's what we're looking at. Okay? This says on July 6th. So the shooting happens on July 5th. On July 6th, I can't highlight on here so you guys just won't see what I'm seeing. On July 6th, Governor John Bell Edwards, joined by then Louisiana State Police Superintendent Mike Edmondson and others, held a press conference to announce an official request that the Obama administration Department of Justice conduct a complete and thorough investigation in the shooting of Alton Sterling. Following multiple requests, the United States Department of Justice, utilizing the FBI and Attorney General for the Middle District of Louisiana, took the lead in their investigation. Governor Edwards also announced that he had Colonel Edmondson and the Louisiana State Police with assisting in the investigation. On July 11th, 2016, So we've got 6 days after the incident, East Baton Rouge District Attorney Hiller Moore filed a motion to recuse himself, indicated a personal relationship with the family of Blaine Salamone precluded him from handling the prosecution. So there's no bias involved in anyone close to these guys. So from that time of the incident, July 5th, until the completion of the U.S. DOJ investigation, the Louisiana DOJ did not receive or review any information, evidence, or investigate materials generated by the U.S. Department of Justice investigation. It was prohibited, in fact, from participating in the investigations during this time to ensure the integrity of the U.S. Department of Justice investigation. And on May 3rd, 2017, they announced their findings. Okay? Within 24 hours of that, the Louisiana Department of Justice met with the appropriate officials and began to coordinate to receive, catalog, and store all reports and evidence. So here's the deal, guys. The federal government, who was looking for a sacrificial lamb, studied this until May 3rd the following year. So it happened July 5th, so 10 months, almost 10 full months go by of investigation, and find both of these officers not guilty, not chargeable, because this was a justified shooting. So everybody involved that could have appeared to be biased withdraws themselves from the investigation. Even the state of Louisiana, the prosecutor pulls out, like, hey, I know the family. I don't want to even appear to be biased. The United States Department of Justice, with a current climate at the time of wanting to make an example out of officers in unjustified shootings, studied this for 10 months and said, hey, we can't find these guys guilty of anything. We can't find these guys responsible for this. This is a justified shoot. So that happens. This still goes on until recently when the videos were released, the full videos. So this outlines the death. Everything we kind of covered in the video is available. You know what? I need to link in here is I think I closed it out. Guys, I'm going to change the description of this video once I'm done with the video. I will actually link you to what I'm looking at, the full story. I don't think it's here, so I don't have that. But what I want to draw your attention to here is we go down. This describes kind of like what we already saw on video. The autopsy. I want you to look at what was found in Alton Sterling's blood. Now, Alton Sterling was a convicted criminal, but I know a lot of people tend to say, look at what he did before, but let's just forget that Alton Sterling had any past criminal history. Even if he wasn't on probation, even if he wasn't in violation of having a firearm, even if he wasn't assaulting someone there with a firearm beforehand, whatever happened, just in this moment, a guy with a gun conducting illegal activity outside of a store, approached by officers, told to put his hands on the car, immediately refuses to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. And then the fight's on. Why did this fight escalate like this? Please look at what is in his blood. Ethanol. Everybody can see that, right? Ethanol. So his blood alcohol concentrate was 0.029. A little bit above, having a beer or two in you. Not intoxicated by liquor per se, but it's in his system. Benzoyl cogenine. I don't know what that is. I can't even pronounce it. The next one I know exactly what it is. Cocaine. Next one, amphetamine. Next one, methamphetamine. And then we have the old standard carboxy THC and delta THC. So smoke weed every day. So Mr. Sterling had weed in his system, methamphetamine in his system, amphetamine in his system, and cocaine in his system, along with a little bit of alcohol. So he had quite a little cocktail going. Quite a little cocktail. So unless you have fought someone that is hyped up on all of those stimulants, please do not be under the naive assumption that tackling however heavy of a man he was, I don't know what his actual weight was at the time of death. He looked bigger than 250 to me, but that's just my perception on video. He's a big boy. To fight someone like that who is hyped up on all those narcotics, it's not an easy thing. And add in the fact that he had a gun, we've got a problem. This goes in. Go ahead.
We got a super chat.
Oh, thank you.
By Stephen Walden, $5. The amount of ignorance that some have when it comes to the amount of training that police have to go through to utilize firearms is frightening.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This is why I'm doing videos like this.
He said he's not referring to everybody in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah.
He's just saying in general.
This is why I do videos like this, because I'm trying to educate people who are willing to listen. So Sterling's history with law enforcement, again, I mean, his criminal history goes back to 2009. So he had 7 years of criminal history going into this contact with the police. So there's that. Interviews of the witnesses on scene. John Young is the guy who called the police. All these other folks, these witness statements, everything corroborates the statements, the official statements by the police. Now, the thing is Officer Lake was suspended, and Officer Salamoni's been fired. Well, why? Why is that? And we'll get to that. But I'm going to pause, and maybe you guys have some questions in the comments we'll talk about real quick before we go into the last phase of this, explain why they were fired, and wrap up the discussion. But what do you guys have any clarifying questions of anything that I've covered up to this point? Happy to address those.
I just let them know that it's easier for us to read the super chat.
The super chats obviously stand out.
Yeah.
That's a guaranteed question I will answer, or comment I will acknowledge, because
we guarantee to answer.
I can't keep up with
chats,
all of them.
But we don't guarantee to answer all the other questions.
Do I think banning or stricter gun laws would make your work safer? No, I don't. I don't think that. We just have an arc of history. We are where we're at, and banning guns. That gun was illegal that he had anyway. He wasn't supposed to have it. We already had gun laws against him.
He also said, Serious Fun also said earlier, instead of tasing him or shooting him, couldn't they have pepper sprayed him?
Well, they tried the taser. They tried the taser twice, and it was ineffective. And sometimes
plus, being that close to pepper spray, it'll get on you too.
Yeah, you always have to be aware of how it's going to affect you. In a close quarters, you're going to be affected by the pepper spray as well. And if the taser wasn't taking the effect, the officer decided to go hands-on. And when there's a weapon in play, the more things you have in your hand, the less capable you are of defending yourself or others as well. So there's a list of factors. If you feel like you see a weapon, then pepper spray isn't an option anymore. Either way. All right, cool. Seeing no extra specific questions, I want to turn to this thing. This is from Associated Press. 1 Baton Rouge officer fired, 1 suspended in the deadly shooting. We've already seen the video. We've already talked a little bit about the Department of Justice report and how serious it was, how serious it was taken, and if anybody was going to find them guilty, it would have been them. Oh, Stacy, thank you very much. Court employee.
$10 super chat. I am a court employee and the daughter of a cop, and also be harassed by police as a kid. Been harassed by police as a kid. I believe that's what she meant to say. But I have learned to do what I am told, and I will not be hurt.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy. Appreciate that input. And the underpaid producer knows what it's like to be a cop's kids. He gets it. The police chief, Murphy Paul, announced Officer Blaine Salamoni firing less than a week after the Louisiana Attorney General ruled out criminal charges in Alton Sterling's July 2016 death. Paul also suspended Officer Howie Lake II, the other officer involved in deadly confrontation, for 3 days. Lake helped wrestle Sterling to the ground but did not fire his weapon. We've already covered this. He says, my decision, will this show up? Oh, yeah, it does. My decision was not based on politics. It was not based on emotions. It was based on the facts of the case. Okay. We have that. I think this goes into him saying why. I'm trying to look at where the chief says this. Oh, I'm looking for the chief's official word. And now I'm not seeing it in here. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, hey. Cool, an ad.
Is there an ad? Can you skip it?
No. Take the 3 off. Oh, here I am.
New guy.
Just let me know when.
Oh, okay.
When the ad is over.
I'm giving this guy's free ad space. Yeah.
Oh, still going.
It's still going. The ad is over. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to forward to the police chief. That needs to come up if we can. There we go. I'm trying to get to
My
the...
responsibility
There we go.
to the citizens of Baton Rouge and also to the men and women who wear this uniform to conclude an administrative investigation and to bring closure to a cloud that has been over our community for far too long. As a result of the administrative investigation into the conduct and behavior of Officer Blaine Salamone as it relates to the Baton Rouge Police Department training policy and procedures, a violation of use of force has been sustained, and a violation of command of temper has been sustained. Officer Blaine Salamone has been terminated from the Baton Rouge Police Department effective today.
It was a day for truth. And what they
So I'm trying to find where they actually said this. You guys can trust me or you can look it up for yourself. Basically, the sticking point, as I said at the beginning of this, the sticking point for the Baton Rouge Police Department was the fact that Officer Salamone said, put your hands on the car or I'm going to shoot you in the effing head. That statement violated the use of force. In saying that, at that point, they're saying it violated the use of force. Now, firing a guy for saying that to a person who is not cooperating and believed to be armed, who had just assaulted somebody with a firearm, first of all, do I think that disrespectful language and treatment of people is acceptable? No, I don't. Officer Lake was suspended, also for using profanity, all that stuff. I've been written up in the past for using profanity in the middle of a fight. I was in the middle of a fight with someone that I had recovered a firearm and 2 knives and a ski mask off of in the middle of 8 Mile Road. Yes, the M&M 8 Mile. In the middle of a fight, and someone said something about, I want my lawyer, and I said, I don't give an F about your lawyer. Shut the F up. That's what I said. And it was on my dash cam, my mic, all that stuff. I've cursed at people before. And that guy would later go on to say that he's going to effing rape my kids, and told the lieutenant the same thing, called me a bunch of names. That didn't matter, obviously. Didn't matter what he said, just me, right? Because I'm the cop, so that matters. So I got written up for swearing, but my use of force was fine. The fact that they're sort of like, I haven't looked at their exact policy, but to fire this guy after he's been cleared in a justified shooting is a little much for simply the words he chose to say. To me, that's excessive. I'm not the Baton Rouge Police Department. Not my decision. But I can say that I don't think that seems fair from where I sit, and that's all I can say. If there's information I don't know, if there is disciplinary records from him that I'm not aware of, that this was sort of like a straw that broke the camel's back in terms of the words he used, then okay, so be it. But so what's the difference between Lake gets suspended, Salamone gets fired? They both swore at the guy. So what really is the difference? Salamone is the one that fired the shots, though. But they were justified. So it just seems to me that a double standard is being applied. Sir, if you're watching, the chief of Baton Rouge, if you see this, I'm sure I'm not changing your mind. But people will know where I stand.
Mark Henderson, $5 super chat. I'm amazed that people actually choose to be police officers. I am pretty sure I would not have the patience or temperament. Keep up the good work. And Shaddy Perms with a $10 super chat. Police officer used profanity in the heat of a fight. In other news, water is wet.
Yeah. Jason asks a question. So it is okay to threaten to shoot a guy in the head? Just asking. Okay, well, I will just answer. It's hard if you have not been in a situation to know what you would say. What would you say to someone that may be reaching for a gun who you know or believe to have just assaulted somebody with a gun? What would you say? Do you want to go read Alice in Wonderland? Would you like to get some tea, good sir? What do you say? This guy said, listen, if you don't do what I'm telling you, I'm going to shoot you in the effing head. Like, is that the smartest thing to say? No. It's probably not. That statement cost him his job. But again, we have to look at the facts objectively and say, did they call themselves there? Were they looking for a problem with Alton Sterling? No, they weren't. Alton Sterling created the problem. This is a problem he created. What would have happened if they walked up and said, hey, man, turn around, put your hands in the hood? And he said, yes, sir. And he put his hands in the hood. And then they put his hands behind his back. They detain him for a second until they clear him of any wrongdoing. And they check his pocket. Oh, here's a gun. Would he have been shot? No, he wouldn't have. Absolutely not. So take a step back. And in and of itself, is that statement an appropriate thing for a cop to say? No. Happy to say that. In the heat of a moment where a person that is believed to be armed is not listening to your hand commands, and you say that, is it reasonable? Yeah, probably. Could he have chosen to say it differently? Yeah, probably. But have you ever been faced with that situation? What would you say? I don't know. I have been faced with pretty stressful situations, and I definitely let some F-bombs fly. There's no doubt about it. And if you get written up for it or take your lumps...
Are you going to go full screen again?
Oh, yeah, I can go full screen again.
Just trying to help you out. Are you done reviewing that footage?
Hello, I'm back. Full screen.
Are you done reviewing the footage?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Okay. Do we have anything else?
I mean, no, that's basically me wrapping up my take on this.
Okay.
So, I mean, how long have we been going here? 49 minutes? Oh, good. We're keeping it under an hour. Got 335 lovely human beings in here.
Are there any questions?
Any questions that relate to this case itself? That would be phenomenal to know. Yeah, Shaddy, Perms, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, by the way, super chats are a lot easier for us to notice, and we guarantee to answer your question if you super chat. You can do super chats as low as like 99 cents or something.
I don't know. Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm not sure.
I'm not really.
In a world run by one man and his underpaid producer.
Are you about to cough?
Yeah, man, I need some water, brah.
I brought a whole water bottle.
I know, I drank it already.
Yeah.
I drank all the water. You want to see a tribute to the underpaid producer? Jeremy, I don't know. Yeah, obey my commands or you may be shot. That's like, put your hands in the car or you may be shot. I mean, that would that have made a difference if he didn't say effing or in the head? I don't know. Shaddy.
Minimum.
I've seen people do 99 cents, though.
I've seen people do 99 cents.
Shaddy, I've seen people do it for 99 cents.
That's weird. Are you on mobile? Maybe it's a mobile?
Maybe it is a mobile thing. If you're on a mobile device, it's more. I don't know. I'm not sure. Do people get a bit of a break on their first offense? Of what? Murder? I don't know. Depends on what you mean. Yeah, all my live streams are going to stay up after the fact. So we'll hopefully people be in here. I'm gonna make sure that I post a link to the Department of Justice thing too. Let me see if I can find that in my history real quick.
I'm on mobile. I stand corrected.
History. I'm looking back down at my history. I'll just put it up in the thing. I'm not going to be distracted. But anyway, guys, any other last-minute questions? This is a little wrap-up discussion. I want you to take notice that you can also find me on Twitch. More content like this. We're trying to figure out a schedule so that you guys know when I'm going to go live. I haven't been announcing it. So a schedule, you know when to expect to sit down, grab your whiskey or coffee or water or orange juice or whatever else, and enjoy the stream with us so that you can plan on it. But find me on Twitch, too. I'm going to be splitting my time between YouTube and Twitch. My kids and I do a lot of gaming and interacting on Twitch, too. It's a lot of fun. And then you can obviously join the Discord. The link is going to be somewhere in the comments. People can paste it. And
I just pasted the link.
Underpaid Producer just gave you the Discord link. It'll be in the description after the video's posted as well. Alton's criminal history, what is admissible? That's a good question, Optimus Prime. Well, first of all, Alton is dead, so really his charges would be irrelevant at this point. But a defense attorney and the prosecutors and the judge are all going to fight over what's admissible and what's not. It's going to be whether or not it goes in any type of evidentiary value into the case at hand. So a lot of his criminal history would probably not be admissible in a case. If he had lived and there was some type of criminal proceedings, a lot of his past history would not be involved. But the fact that he was on probation and in violation of that by having a firearm on him and committing a felony by doing so, that would have been admissible.
Stacy Watson with a $5 super chat. I just want to say I love your content. I'm really glad to hear a cop's perspective.
Stacy, you're the real MVP in this stream. I really appreciate
point
it.
Of view, objective point.
Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate the support and the nice comment. You're beautiful. Yeah, man, I wonder what's going to happen if these officers are going to sue. There have been other officers. You guys remember the University of Cincinnati cop that shot a guy in a car? He was fired and sued and just got like a $300,000 settlement for wrongful termination. So yeah, maybe these guys are going to do that. A lot of these guys, their lives are changed forever because they took a life, even justified, and it jacks them up. And it's problematic, and now the whole world has put them under a microscope, and it resurfaces again, and they all look at the microscope again, and they just want to get out because they don't want the pressure anymore. So.
Oh, a super chat at 99 cents, but to say anything, $2 or more.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
that's how it works.
You learn something every day, Montgomery. Thanks. Appreciate letting everybody know. Yeah, I'm gonna keep announcing them on Snapchat and Instagram stories and all that stuff and all that. Permitless concealed carry. I would be all for, as long as the firearm is a legal firearm, I'm completely fine with what I would call constitutional carry. Some states have that, where you can just carry concealed or carry open, doesn't matter. I'm all in favor of it. Good people with guns don't bother me a bit. Love it. Well, I'm glad you could provide some entertainment here and hopefully some education. Yeah, YouTube's got technical issues these days. I couldn't even access my own page the other day by going to my channel. It would just break. Wouldn't work. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much. I will be putting the link to all of the resources that I used in the description when this posts. And stay tuned. Lots more to come on this channel. I appreciate how much you guys are enjoying this. It's making me happy. So we're all one big happy family together. Good day.